Welcome everyone. As promised, today I am sending out some more information about the final project that is due on June 27th. This is the personal problem solving project, but what I thought I should just make sure is that you know that this should be education related. And I must tell you that I did spend most of last night and today really trying to think about some other options that I could present. Last night I did mention that maybe some of you would like to write a more academic paper, or perhaps you wanted to put together some type of multimedia presentation. In the end though, what I think I came up with is the fact that this project in and of itself offers quite a few options. So for those of you though who still do want to try something new, I'm just going to ask you to contact me and then we can work something out together. You can email me, you can text me, you can call me, we can FaceTime, I can meet you face to face at your school, home, Starbucks. I'm happy to work with you, but I think this might be the way to go. And the reason why is because without looking and reading through each one of these objectives, the course really asks you to be able to do these things by the time you're done. And so I think probably given how short our time was together, the best way to show this proficiency is through the project that I will present here. Again, if you have another idea, please come to me. But what I will ask is that before you come to me, you go through this list and you identify how you will account for each one of these objectives in the project that you present to me. So there have been a couple questions, and I just want to refresh your memory about the two main models that we will be using. These are the models that you used in the Iron Innovator, and they're the same models that you will use for your final project. What I like about the similarities between the Iron Innovator and this is that you had a practice run. You had an opportunity to go through the steps, to think about your thinking, to use the vocabulary. And so really it's an odd opportunity and a unique opportunity to be able to do that again with a different problem and by yourself. And so while again, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, while I recognize that some of this is a repeat, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that if we ever have the opportunity to do something again, the idea is that you could do it differently and better and grow even more, in this case, as a creative problem solver. So when we talk about creative problem solving, and if you see that CPS model, this is the one we're talking about. You can reread this in chapter 8. This is where all of the information is included. You will know that this model starts with the clarification stage in terms of exploring the vision and the challenges. And again, a lot of this you did, and I've already been reading about in your Innovator project. So I think most of you have a really good handle on this. Note that assessing the situation is within the model. So the idea is that is something that you do as part of the metacognition within this process. And so it's really important that you include that along the way. The second model that you'll use are the success principles, right? So simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and stories. I have read a couple of your journals where I think some questions might be a little sort of shady in a few of these areas. So I'm putting together a presentation now based on ways that I think I can maybe clarify. But if you haven't read the rest of the book, then please do that. I think that will be really helpful in understanding, what it means to get credible sources and what it means to create concrete ideas. And the stories in particular. So again, some of you did a really great job with that in the presentations, and so I don't think that there's a big problem, but I will make sure that I cover this in case there are still some points of confusion. So those are the two main models that we'll be using. What I would suggest starting right now for the next 48 hours is to think of an education-related problem. Keep in mind that these problems, you can look at a problem in your curriculum, maybe even one particular lesson, your students, although some of our students I know we can't fix, but maybe there are some behavior problems or other problems that do exist that we can fix. Your teaching environment, your colleagues, right? Maybe your colleagues need some professional development and you have ideas of how to do that. The teaching tools, so that could be technology, that could be your whiteboard, it could be the fact that you lack particular items that you want. For example, if you want to start using Google Cardboards and you need those, where can you get them and how can you get them and why would you want them? Your parents could be problematic, your administration, or even your own education. And I think Dean Smith brought up some really good and interesting points yesterday that I think maybe some of you want to tackle in this particular project. So again, this project is similar to the Iron Innovator, but this time keep in mind that you're going to focus on a real problem that truly impacts your life as a teacher, and you are working alone. There are 3 pieces to this project. There's an executive summary, which is just a paper, but that's the way that businesses talk about papers. They don't say a paper, they'll call it an executive summary. That will essentially provide an overview of the problem and the solution and a few other things that I'll get to in a moment. You will journal, just like you did before, to document your metacognition, and then the presentation that you'll do in class on our last day. Again, we won't do presentations in front of the whole class. I have some ideas about small group and gallery walk style and providing feedback then through QR codes and things like that. So we'll play around with some different presentation ideas on that last day. But these are the 3 pieces. The first piece, again, is the executive summary. This is 25 points. I'll provide a rubric here soon. I just wanted to get you started so that you knew what you're working towards. In this paper, you're going to briefly describe the problem, the rationale for the problem, meaning what are the reasons that you selected it as a problem. You will include the solution, a vision of how you will implement the solution. Again, if you go back to our text, in particular, if you go on to page 79 through 80, you'll get some ideas about what it means to explain the acceptance. And then, of course, your general strategy for working within the targeted audience. And again, you will identify the targeted audience based on whatever your problem is. So also in the executive summary, you will lay out a marketing concept based on the success principles that I showed before. So what are some stories that you might tell? What is a concrete, tangible solution that you're offering? What kind of credibility can you offer in terms of this particular solution? What emotional appeal might you make? So on and so forth. So the part that is really important is that you don't have to actually write out an action plan. Keep in mind that this executive summary can be up to 3 pages in length, but no more. And you can have a couple supporting documents that you offer, whether it's information about your school or your students or test scores or what have you. You can include tables and charts, but again, really 3 pages. So you're not going to write up the actual action plan per se, just an overview of what you would do to solve the problem. And again, this is the model that you'll be using to work through those stages. The second piece is the process journal. In this journal, you will document your thinking, again, starting with the convergent stage and the divergent thinking, very similar to what you did to the Iron Innovator. You can definitely include any of the techniques that we have talked about in class, and I'll offer a few more over the next couple days. How you connected the ideas, how you evaluated each one of them. One of the groups for the Iron Innovator project used a mind map to show how all of the ideas related and didn't relate, and that definitely could be something that you include in this journal. So again, it's really about what went on in your heads as you implemented the steps in the model so that you can learn what best facilitates your own creative process. Again, you can use whatever you want here. So you might use a Word doc, a Google Doc, a Padlet, a Glogster, a PictoChart. If you have a mind mapping tool like the Bubble.us tool or Poplet, and I'll put some of these up on our Moodle site soon, but whatever you want to use. One of the most important pieces here is just being mindful about showing how you might be moving back and forth within or between the steps. So you can just note that along the way. So again, here it says you may have moved from divergent thinking to convergent thinking and back again within the exploring ideas step. So you can just indicate that along the way. Both the executive summary and the journal will be submitted through Moodle. The third piece, of course, is the presentation. And I know that some people had questions about what actually to present for the Iron Innovator. So if you look here, I wrote include at least the following in your presentation. What is the problem statement and what is your solution? Including information such as, what about your solution is new, how is it feasible or workable, and why or to whom is it valuable and relevant. I'm thinking no more than 5 minutes, so it will be pretty short. And again, how you present is completely up to you. If you want to just talk, if you want to have a computer and set up a slide, a poster board, again, it's completely up to you. So keep in mind that at this point of the presentation, it's time to try on your sticky marketing strategy tools. So your presentation must be polished and professional. Overall, I thought that the Iron Innovator presentations were good, but I would like these to be even better. So really think about your time, think about your core message, go back to the stickiness principle and that C, right? Think about your commander's intent. Think about what is the concrete message that you're trying to say. What is the simple what is the concrete product, that you're trying to sell, and how can you say it in a very simple way? We will hear from a lot of presentations, even though you won't hear from everybody. So the idea is to make yours stand out. And we will, again, have an opportunity to provide feedback to each other, unlike the Innovator. So you want to definitely put your best foot forward. I really want, again, this project to be something that allows you to learn something new, be productive, and ultimately have fun. And so again, if you have another idea that you want to bring to me, by all means, please contact me. Here's my phone number, my email address, and again, I'm happy to meet any of you in person if you need to just physically kind of go through some papers and talk. So I wish you all the best of luck. I will be in touch in the next few days to provide you some more tools, but for now I recommend starting to think of a problem, open up a journal, and start taking notes on your own thinking. I wish you guys the best, and I'll see you soon. Bye.